Hai, terima kasih kepada anda yang telah menjadi 1000 pertama yang telah subscribe kepada channel saya ini. Anda adalah asas kepada kelangsungan dan kejayaan channel ini. Dan kepada anda yang belum subscribe lagi, sudilah hendaknya anda subscribe agar menjadi pendorong kepada saya untuk meneruskan projek Hubungan Rambang ini. Ingat, menjalinkan hubungan rambang adalah pengalaman yang mendewasakan. Jeng jeng jeng.
I grew up in a family yang memang dua-dua dia. Bapa aku bagi aku belajar muzik, and then at the same time mak aku ajar ngaji.
Kat mana ni?
Di Singapura lah. Sama lah, aku sekampung kan Datuk M.
Area mana?
Aku Queenstown.
Okay.
M. Nasir, Teck Whye, I think somewhere around there. Aku hijrah sini kan 1988. 87, 88 when I was 21. And then since then until now I've been going back and forth lah. Tapi sekarang tak ada lah, dah jual semua tu. So race memang macam tu. So pada diri dalaman pun aku banyak juga participate selain daripada sekolah, primary school and secondary school punya talent program. I'm always there. I'm always during kalau teachers day ke, speech day ke apa kan, ada je lah, I will come in with some performances lah, and ada inter-school punya competition. I'm always active. At the same time, aku juga participated in masa tu di Singapore selalu dianjurkan musabakah Quran, kanak-kanak, dewasa, remaja. So I'm always in the kanak-kanak punya pertandingan Quran lah. Tak pernah number 1, but always number 3, number 2.
Constant je.
Consistent. 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3. Johan tak pernah lah. Sampai umur aku 15 years old. In fact, 16 was my last competition. I started from 10. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yearly tu. So at the same time, aku pergilah kuih music classes every week. Masa tu, kalau kau ingat yang cipta lagu Majulah Singapura tu, Zubir Said. Zubir Said punya anak ada buka satu school di Joo Chiat Road ketika tu. So my brother was the one yang enroll for the class first. So aku follow belakang lah.
Elder brother.
My elder brother. So elder brother. But I'm active in both worlds. So my elder brother, dia hanya active music. So and then at that advantage, yang bawa katalog music ketika tu, my brother and also my father lah kat rumah. So my father would bring the Arabic punya Umi Kalsum, you know. Umi Kalsum is known among, kalau kau tanya mana-mana scholars yang mengaji Arab ni semua, they would know Umi Kalsum lah. Ulama kalau tak kenal Umi Kalsum ni memang tak ni pasti diorang kenal lah.
Seorang qari.
Umi Kalsum is actually a famous dia macam bidu wanita lah. Untuk bangsa Arab, Umi Kalsum is a big name lah. Big name, a very big name. Dia satu singer yang kau tahu ulama-ulama dengan gini. Ulama ni kalau cakap pasal hukum apa semua, kata ni haram betul. Tapi bila bab Umi Kalsum, no one say anything dah. You know why? Because she's so patriotic. She can sound very religious, walaupun dia punya outlook luar tidak. Dia tidak. Dia memang a superb a performer, nyanyi yang memang masa introduction dia 3-4 minit bro. Intro saja. And in intro je you can hear a lot of applause. Those days punya performance kan.
So intro ni masuk macam mana?
Introduction to the song.
To the song.
Besen kau duduk orkestra belakang, nanti dia ada kejajeng, nanti dia masuk. Ya, itu orang tepuk dah. Tepuk panjang. Dia bagi ya je. Lepas tu dia release, dia relax dulu. Dia pegang sabut tangan dia. Orkestra main dah. A long intro kan. And they cannot wait for her to start singing again. Dia kata, dahsyat ini. Dahsyat. So, ini influence aku masa kecil. So, my father provided that. So, aku kecil-kecil mana kita beli, dalam masa tu kaset kan. Mana kita beli kaset. So, we just adapt whatever that is given at home. So, Arabic bapak aku bagi, Sundanese music pun bapak aku bagi, he's very much into Javanese, Sundanese. Sunda is Jawa apa? Jawa Barat. Sundanese nama Jawa Barat. And then my brother, elder brother, dia yang letak catalog of Pink Floyd, Rare Earth kan, Deep Purple masa tu kan. So aku kenal koleksi tu masa tu lah. Sahabat aku yang bawa masuk kat rumah, aku yang masa tu I just main Shine on Crazy Diamond kan. Panjang sangat intro macam Arab tu kat tadi, tapi dia psychedelic rock kan. So that's how it grows in me lah somehow. So rupa-rupanya whatever that you listen at that age, it actually sticks with you tau. Until today.
Correct.
Until today. And then and also it gives you that apa kata orang apa aku nak panggil bahasa tu when you write songs, when you write something, you have something inside you yang akan bagi that apa kata orang dia punya that little spark balik of what you were into before. So I would say that this mix could have been the answer of what I am today, and how I maneuver myself with my music composition and whatever that created. So bila masuk Raihan pula, masa tu aku nak just cari space dalam industri. Space meaning what? Masa Raihan sebelum muncul, kita punya industri, it was ada dua cluster. Satu cluster is a popular word now. So cluster rock dengan cluster dangdut. 95.
Oh, ada dangdut masa tu
Yes. Oh yes. Dangdut was at the height. Masa 95. 95, 96 dangdut. Iwan Amalina.
Right.
Apa lagi? Iwan Amalina was in almarhum Lan Mamat punya works. And then ada beberapa kumpulan lah, aku tak ingat, beberapa group dangdut was like churning up macam like nothing lah. They just keep selling. And then masa tu Ella was the highest selling album, 300 something thousand.
Ella USA tu.
Ella USA 901011 apa aku tak ingat lah nombor dia macam macam sitcom dia tu kan. So masa tu kita tak fikir pun yang kita masuk tu akan memberi apa kata orang saingan ke tak. Just apparently I've been talking to Datuk Nasir Qasim at that time. Nasir would see me once in a blue moon between 1992 sampai 1995. We always come and meet up, and and selalu dia ada keinginan, kau buatlah apa group nasyid apa semua, because then already sebenarnya I was already involved with satu gerakan nasyid Nada Murni. So Nada Murni ni dia dalam satu community Arkam ketika tu Sungai Bencala. So masa tu we were like academy tau. Nada Murni ni budak-budak ni semua sekolah setempat, nyanyi setempat, so everyday muka-muka tu juga. So you talking about always dia punya momentum rehearsal tu almost everyday. So dia macam academy lah. So macam without realizing, memang we are actually building something for the future. We didn't even realize that we are working on that, So masa tu aku ingat aku punya first production dengan Nada Murni masa aku datang tahun 88, 89, Cik Wahab of Telaga Biru. Cik Wahab, I don't know whether Cik Wahab Yusof ni, Haji Wahab Yusof ni, actually he's the owner of Telaga Biru sekarang ni. He was the one who managed the panggil audio video Arkam ketika tu lah. So masa tu nama Nada Murni tak ada lagi, masa Putra-Putra Arkam lah. So buat berbagai-bagai nasyid. No music, no nothing. It was just a cappella, voices alone. So he spoke to me. I heard you from you did music previously apa semua kan. Masa Singapore dulu kan aku main club apa semua. I was in a club sikit. Itu tadi aku lompat kisah lah. Mengaji terus tutup mengaji, terus aku main club.
Oh, itu kisahnya.
18 years old. In fact aku a few months I was in Rainbow Singapore, Peppermint Park Singapore apa semualah. So those days memang ada satu band ni nama Plastic Surgery lah.
Plastic Surgery Singapore.
So 3 tahun I was doing that, and I served the army, Singapore Army Music and Drama Company. I was orang bagi I was attached to Singapore Armed Forces Music Drama Company. So aku 3 bulan pertama je aku training berat lah, and then after that aku terus dipanggil attached to the Music and Drama Company punya unit lah. Because memang kita punya background kan. So masa tu baru excel. Masa tu Najib was my senior,
Haji Ali,
Gurmit Singh Phua Chu Kang was my junior. So we were all together. We were all doing things together at that time. We were doing tours together, you know, like small little, kita panggil macam orang panggil untuk stand up, untuk groupnya comedy, untuk some short musical dekat entertainment places kan. Me, Najib and Gurmit, we would do the same at that time. And then aku habis army, that's why I decide to hijrah sini lah. Itu yang terjumpa Arkam. And then that, pendekkan cerita, so I accepted Cik Wahab punya challenge. Kata Cik Wahab, why don't you try to do something since you were in the music industry. So aku buat lah. So my first project dengan Nada Murni ketika itu ialah the 99 Names of Allah, yang Asmaul Husna.
Yeah, for the first project you were the producer.
Yes, I will produce. And then masa tu lah aku first time, masa tu Putra-Putra Rakam ni masa diorang buat vocals tu tidak ada harmony, so they were just singing in unison
satu.
So I introduced the harmony apa semua with Asmaul Husna. So Asmaul Husna was the project yang kita buat, because dia punya harmony memang luar biasa.
Dahsyat sangat.
Inspired by the original recording yang I think recorded in Egypt. If I'm not mistaken, that version was from Ikhwanul Muslimin punya version. Yang dia punya range tu gini-gini apa semua. So aku macam, oh ni best kalau Nada Murni boleh buat ni. So I started that. And alhamdulillah that recording, in fact, if you ask me personally, that was Asmaul Husna was the best seller single lah.
Best seller single.
Even till today, kalau you ask me, Asmaul Husna is still the best selling single. Recorded, unrecorded, cerita lain. Tapi ketika tu, kalau di pasar-pasar malam, di pasar apa, the buktinya ialah dulu memang kita sendiri kawan hafal, nak tiup budak hafal susah. Sekarang ni alhamdulillah, berkat all this extension of the material apa semua, even sekolah kebangsaan aku dah dengar dah, pagi-pagi dah dengar berluar dah. Kebangsaan, setengah sekolah kebangsaan dah gunakan tu sebagai demi anthem selepas negaraku, no? So alhamdulillah lah. So that was the first single ever that I produced in the name of nasyid sebenarnya. That was in 1988-89.
Yeah.
So kalau letak a few years after that, this group Raihan ni sebenarnya, it's a spin-off of what they were known as the Zikr dulu.
They were known as the Zikr.
The Zikr is dalam Sungai Mencala, but they were not Nada Murni.
They're not. Okay.
So Nada Murni was the favourite group then of that community, and also when they went for road tours lah, diorang ada pergi diorang road tour, they build underground punya movement kan. Unintentional, tapi benda tu is part of dakwah kerja. Dia buat show dekat Jengka lah, dekat mana, dekat Kelantan, dekat mana lah.
To the public ataupun within the community je?
Public. Not ticketed pun kan, tapi the community invested on their own sound and light apa semua. Masa tu kita dah pakai projector, dah pakai, zaman tu in our concert kita dah pakai lasers pun zaman tu.
Advance.
Zaman tu lah kan, slideshow. So there were a lot of important people behind it, yang sekarang ni diorang semua dah sini, macam Cik Wahab sendiri, you know, and then ada Datuk Muhammad Zakaria, you know. So there were also Haji Fauzal, of course Haji Abu Hassan Yusof. You know, all these are the key people behind the development of nasyid then, that what we see today are all the fruits. So I'm just one of the person yang link aja. I was the link, so I wasn't the, kalau kau cakap Godfather, no. Bukan. So Godfathers dia ramai tadi tu. Ramai tu.
The Dons.
Haji Wahab, Datuk Muhammad Zakaria, Haji Fauzal, and then Haji Abu Hassan Yusof, and then there's another Haji Abu Hassan Murad he was the godfather of this special school, Mahat Hamidiah Kelang. Mahat Hamidiah Kajang.
Kajang.
Yang dia every week dia bawa students from there to come and do macam workshop lah dekat studio Sungai Berjala tu. Itulah beranaknya The Brothers from Nirwana, Now Sihat, and all these groups yang when they were under Cikgu Abdul Murad, they came to Sungai Berjala. And yang train diorang ni Arwah Azhari Raihan. The one of the
Yeah.
Then he was the leader of Raihan group. So he was the one who trained these boys week over week sampai dorang buat album sendiri. Adalah keluar grup Mastika lah, grup Nirwana lah. Nirwana was the birth of Nirwana was there. Keluar Nirwana yang kita dengar semua sekarang. So sebenarnya tempat tu, I said it was the place where it was the beginning of whatever that we see today. Sebenarnya. Dan story ni secara detail pun ramai orang tak record in it was not known in public. So I would say you are the first person yang tahu kisah sedetail ini. Ada 2-3 orang buat thesis before. Pun dah buat, tapi thesis dia tak publish for public. So dia buat untuk dia tak dapat doktor je. Kan? Betul. Ada seorang tu orang Belanda, Bart nama dia apa, daripada Indonesia. He for his thesis, and then Dr. Allah Salamat, siapa nama? Yang main gitar tu, Wan Zawawi did his thesis, and then Fitri Haris did his thesis. In fact, there's ada budak-budak UiTM dulu lah masa nak buat dia degree apa semua pun ada interview aku lah pasal. So a lot of interest actually about the history. But sedetail ini aku cerita kau ni pasal the man, the people, the dons behind it. Macam nama-nama tadi, Cik Wahab, Cikgu Abu Hassan Murad, Cikgu Abu Hassan Yusof, Fauzal, Datuk Muhammad Zakaria. These are the people yang betul-betul ketika tu yang brainstorm and how to develop these shows yang dipanggil zaman itu Malam Puisi Islam. Malam Puisi Islam, and then develop into Malam Kebudayaan Islam. And then how Nada Murni was geared all the time show ready. Diorang ni spontaneous je. Petang orang bertelefon, malam dah boleh buat show. They were all time ready. So Nada Murni then now is known as Rabbani and Hijaz.
Oh my goodness. Serious?
Yes. Rabbani and Hijaz, you put them together, they were Nada Murni.
Oh my. Anda yang belum subscribe lagi, saya harap sudilah hendaknya anda subscribe agar menjadi pendorong untuk saya meneruskan menjalinkan hubungan rambang. Ingat, menjalinkan hubungan rambang adalah asas kepada kedewasaan. Ingat, menjalinkan hubungan rambang adalah Ingat, menjalinkan hubungan rambang. Ingat, hubungan rambang adalah asas kepada kedewasaan.